great pleasure to be here. I would like to thank very much all the organization of the winter school. I know that they work so much, and I take the occasion to thank also my colleague and friend Corrado Sinigallia. This is the second time, Corrado, that we do something in this academic year together, the State University of Milan, the Department of Philosophy and the Faculty of Philosophy of San Raffaele, and it is a great pleasure, and we hope that this is just the beginning of the cooperation between the Milan universities in the field of philosophy of mind and philosophy of cognitive science. Just a disclaimer, as most of us know, I'm not a phenomenologist, and even if I'm deeply interested in phenomenology and I have the greatest consideration for it, perhaps one reason of my interest and consideration for phenomenology is my acquaintance and friendship with Roberto de Monticelli, something more than 25 years of cooperation on this subject, and I am lucky because for some 25 years I am probably the best of the possible teachers on the subject. Unfortunately, this means that I'm the worst of the possible pupils of students, because I still am not able to get all the subtleties and the important achievement of phenomenology. In any case, I tried to put together a certain reflection on the analytical side of the reflection of the self and the phenomenological tradition, and in particular the book who is the target of our discussion in the winter school, that is the Phenomenological Mind by Zahavi and Gallagher. So, for us concerned, the talk, I would like to present some conceptual analysis about the relation between the self and the natural order, making a reference to a line of thought that starts from Peter Strawson's reading of Kant, goes on with Gareth Evans' analysis of I thought, and ends with José Bermúdez's reflection of self-consciousness. As I shall try to show, these reflections are particularly apt to be confronted with important insights coming from the phenomenological tradition, and the insights that are present and indeed I think very well developed in Gallagher and Zahavi book on the phenomenological mind. This is the general schema of my my paper. There is a part of the elusiveness of the self and what I would call the exclusion thesis. The second part, which is the third in the index, about the concept of selfless mind, and a reflection of cognitive neuroscience. In particular, I would like to develop a criticism of a well-known proposal by Daniel Dennett, which I take as an example of general position of elimination of the notion of a self. And then I try to develop a conception of self that put together certain data coming from neuroscience and the phenomenological tradition. For us concerned, my opinion on the subject, these are not exactly strong argued thesis, are more opinion. The quotation from Strawson and Jerry Fodor express my general background. I mean, the first is about, the second is about what I think in general about the self. I think that we need the self, we need the notion of the self for many reasons, in particular because we need somebody who is in charge, so to speak. And this is from the general point of view. From the particular point of view, I think that Strawson quotation from the Bounds of Sense expresses quite well one important insight about how we can develop a theory of the self. Of course, it's quite difficult to speak about the self, and everybody knows that the notion of a self is not in fashion today. The difficulty to find a place for the self in the natural order is an old issue and a very difficult one. As Cassim put it, a remarkable feature of many philosophical accounts of the nature of self-consciousness has been their commitment to the idea that the self is, in some important sense, systematically elusive.